while they've had kind of this like big resurgence throughout playoffs and form. And when you look over at FaZe, I mean, also a shaky map. 1-3 in their last 4 games. A lot of close games, don't get me wrong. Rarely getting less than 11 rounds in those matches. But yeah, it's kind of hard to call, honestly.
That's fair. I also love the call for Mimi talking about Sam on this Omen. He was great on this map versus Ghost Gaming early in their playoff run, on the Omen in particular, as the hit starts to come unfolding for NRG. Typical barrier orb can be placed. It will reinforce itself. That will lead to a plant off the flank. NRG have a couple of members watching this, and oh boy, it's more than just a couple now. There's 3 players in total, and over the barrels, the gunfight gets exchanged, and FaZe say, ooh, we really can't chow this.
Yeah, they're not really making any headway at all. NRG's facing with so many numbers here on this flank, and they're starting to turn things in their favor with those frags. Flya and Baby Bay, though, starting to fight back on the site and trying to make this thing interesting. And, well, it's really gotten spicy now, but Tex will dot the I's across T's with this pistol, and
to get that from them, I think the same storyline rides through, where it's, okay, all of a sudden, you can change the expectations that were initially placed for you after your kind of play through qualifiers. Ooh. Into round 2, though, after the tech pause, and how about the forward positioning for Dicey's? Works out for 1, tries to get away. There is a good help play over from the top as Baby Bay gets a second, but there is still an opportunity for NRG to work through green.
Yeah, that's a great 2-for-1 exchange. I mean, Dicey tries to escape and doesn't quite get away with it, but at least Baby Bay is able to get a second there at the Headhunter and get themselves a main advantage here. No weapons collected, though. Those will stay with NRG here at Long B as they're continuing to try to make a presence here. They do still have these strong rifles in play. So that is, I guess, the best news, is that at least, you know, it's the SMGs that are lost in this situation. They can still fight at range here, as they're still trying to use that toxic screen to lay some pressure on the B side. Maybe Bay trying to throw some spam through, eventually force teleport kind of up top. A Fly is here to help them out.
This is a very difficult take, though, for NRG. Missing your barrier orb, missing all of your intel gathering tools from EU. Sam still commits forward as the toxic screen drops. Baby Bay able to get 1 on the exit. Flya coming from mid. Deals with a second, just down to Sam. Last dark cover comes out. And the Bulldog, well, is just a bit off touch. Spams down, trying to get the player on the spike, but the problem is here comes the rest of FaZe Clan. And no problems. And for a team that we always talked about, NRG in particular, saying, hey, you're great on these kind of half-buy rounds, all of a sudden it's FaZe who bounce back after a great pistol.
Yeah, and bounce back with a retake nonetheless as well. Granted, with advantage as far as ban count goes, but certainly lacking in firepower, but still make it happen. And that's great for them to break up this economic pattern early, not allow NRG to get that 2-0 start, not waiting until round 3 to get yours in. This kind of breaks things up and forces NRG to make a choice here about how they want to spend credits. I mean, they got a spike plant, so that gives you a little bit of flexibility, but more often than not, it's going to put you on the back foot, and it's kind of like chasing the dangling carrot that you never quite can get to. As we are going to see just the Marshall out from EU, rest of the team just on pistols here. And like we are going to see NRG testing A early.
Dart's not going to find too much. EU going to overwatch this play by way of a Marshall just on the ramps. Baby Bay throwing shoulders. Going to get a lot of information. Ooh. Oh, he finds the first kill. Will snap away as Sam will quickly fall. Good recon coming out from Fly as he's going to follow with a shock dart of his own. That will deal some considerable damage, it looked like, for a second on the Ethan. Yeah, he's down to half HP. Absolutely. And all of a sudden, NRG are going to be stuck on site.
And indeed they are. They're not able to really make progress. This toxic screen is really blocking their way to penetrating the site with that spike. Now Aldrone comes out from Flya, going to get a lot of information there. Near 410. Wow. Baby Bay collects another on his way out the door to make matters worse. And yeah, FaZe just have a great grasp of things and are shutting this down entirely. Are going to get a spike plant, though, at least.
Yeah, this works out. Little bait and switch to get the spike down, plus a kill. Super no problem dealing with the first. Ethan's making things very difficult, though, so a couple of trade-off kills. Not bad news for NRG, considering it was just a Marshall purchase, but largely speaking, FaZe will be able to collect these weapons that were dropped and come in with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, a couple of little heroics there to get that spike down, but FaZe ultimately will clean up with 3 players surviving, keeping those 3 Vandals rolled over. As Baby Bay already has Tour de Force, so he could drop the Vandal if he wanted to and get that sniper out early, depending on what he chooses to do here. Full buy, of course, now in play for NRG after the back-to-back spike plants, as Baby Bay just a little skeet shooting there. Catching one over the top, and he just kind of puts a shutdown on things for the most parts. Man just kind of doing some cleanup duty here alongside Baby Bay with the hat trick. And here we go. Looks like another full A press early here from NRG.
Flya's going to try to get up early, see if he can grab the orb. Yeah, sure will. The slow orb was not quite there. Not that it would have made too much of a difference because there wasn't a follow-up peak. Everyone's focused on what's coming through mid-map, and Baby off of what was initially going to be an opportunity to maybe cut off reinforcements or maybe cut off a rotation. He's actually been pushed back. So now information for FaZe is once again a bit empty as NRG continue to send a couple of members forward to A.
And that's what's good about NRG lately, man, is like I really feel like they have fine-tuned their team play in these early to mid-round situations where they're not really leaving any gaps in their default. You know, they're always making sure they're not going to get poked and prodded on the edges. They're not going to get flanked. There's no gaps that can get, you know, prod open by an aggressive defense. And now they will just steadily come into this A side. Great utility leading the way. Safely getting the spike into position here for Ethan, but here comes that Hunter's 3 to disrupt.
Does tag, at least initially once. Poise is forward, but does not have a lot of ammunition. It's just 7 shots remaining, and will very quickly realize that he's going to need to get a little bit more than that if he wants to deal with NRG. Ethan sticking for the plant. The shock darts are good, but not quite good enough. But now Poise, activated to move forward, will take down Tex at pretty significant range. The spam onto Ethan also connects. But the problem is, how do you work through this toxic screen to get the finals? And the answer is, we use a barrier orb. You don't worry about him necessarily.
Snake bite,
it's going to push him back. EU still has to move forward, gets 1 on the return, but now it's just down to FaZe. No more utility. 1v3 Supa already sticking. And Baby watches over nicely. Another good retake from FaZe.
You kind of saw in the picture there, thanks production, there was a spot where it could be diffused where you were not in the snake bite. And so that kind of took away a little bit of the stress, I guess you could say, for FaZe on that diffusal there. But of course, the 3v1 man count at the end certainly helped things along, I would imagine. As it gets a little bit chaotic here at the start, but that Hunter's Fury bought time for the rotation from FaZe, and Poise makes a big move here for a double. Really helps things along, and then Baby just goes to work with that tour de force. Now on a full-fledged operator. Rifles of plenty. Economy building up nicely for FaZe, having won 3 in a row, including a couple of retakes. And again, that's one of the questions we had. How would their retakes be this series? Because they've been a little bit off in playoffs overall. They've come in fine here so far.
And I think the other thing is just the simple fact that those are the moments where Poised has been so good. You want to talk about the team play coming out. Him by himself on an island, he's been so good at holding his life for as long as possible. And then at least going 1 for 1, if not multiple, for his own life.
He's definitely
quick handoff of the spike.
Sure.
Yeah, he really has been. It's been a really good tool for FaZe. And now with a limited kind of financial situation for NRG, it's just 1 Marshal, 1 Guardian, and pistols.
Yeah, not a whole heck of a lot here that they are making a little bit of pressure on the A side. But again, this particular Viper toxic screen has been key on making it a little bit tougher for NRG to get that full penetration onto site that they've been looking for to get that spike safely down. It's been a constant throughout this half so far. And Sam trying to, you know, pull off some Soman classic antics, but does get caught there.
Oh, I don't think Superman actually saw Tex up top. How key is that? Tex said that he can turn that into a tour if he wants it. And with the ability to possibly play for a res, and also 1 away from a Hunter's Fury for EU, all of a sudden this round becomes very doable. Unless the shots from Tex don't quite connect, which at the moment, they are a bit awry.
Flya is dancing on the edge right there. Viper's Pit will get deployed. That's going to make it even tougher for NRG to get in now. Superman catching Tex, so that's Tour de Force off the table, and time is running low.
1 enemy remaining.
Trying to stick. Ethan on the backside, denied by Flya. Goodness, what a messy round.
And through the open qualifier bracket. A little bit of a dip in form against some heavy hitters and groups, but now they're swinging right back into a positive direction. The FaZe has been lights out so far after watching these players.
Oh, and look at this. FaZe has actually changed up their setup. Poise is actually going to be holding over towards B alongside Baby with this operator. So the early information from NRG should be favorable towards that, but Dicey's done this so many times in the past. Just walks right up A, gets the first blood, and now NRG are forced to have to come to Poise's direction.
Yeah, they have no route controller information towards mid or A, so they're trying to really keep forcing this issue at B. A great pop flash, though, continues to stall them out at long, but FaZe is not overcommitting. They're not overplaying this hand. They drone it. They're keeping the pressure, but they are giving them an out. They're satisfied with their 5-on-4 advantage early, and they're satisfied killing this much clock and throwing this doubt into NRG, who still have no idea what's going on really across the map. They have dropped EU back into their spawn to kind of make sure they aren't getting flanked, but the clock is starting to tick to that kind of critical mid-round moment. They still don't really have much map control, and bam! Baby takes another edge there.
For a second, there may have been an opportunity where FaZe was going to start to second guess what the setup was until that 0 point just connected on the 3 offenders here at the B site. And there it is. Poise once again. A key part of the defense. EU has to give up the flank in order to try to assist on this play forward. It's not going to work out. And EU's now stuck over through yellow, trying to literally fight for his life. Slow orb on the back. Gets the shoulder. Maybe plus one more. Hold on a second. Let's not get out of hand here.
Everyone's kind of backpedaled, you've realized, ever since those two. Because everyone's like, you know what, man? Maybe we'll let you come in here and grab the spike. Maybe we'll go a little bit of clock here. Superman will, finish that one off. It's 5-1 now for FaZe. And that was really well done. They were kind of constantly prodding energy at long B, but never overextending and making it really tough on energy. Obviously, big play from Dicey pushing through A on Sage, no doubt, of all agents to just solo push A with. Kind of wild to see him pull it off with that agent who has really no escape tactic if things start going south. And FaZe just have full control over this half and the economy of energy yet again and tatters.
The other thing
Lots
about
of ults, though.
now,
We'll say that.
Yeah, sure. The 2 full buy rounds we've seen from NRG, they have not been able to execute in any form because they've lost key components. Once again, I was about to say that, in that last run, you lose first blood, but you would have had the ability for EU to watch flank plus have Hunter's Fury. Once again, EU's off the table early. So now you don't even have just the Hunter's Fury that's not there. You have no information-seeking tools either. And really, it's just going to be down to hoping and praying that you can get some headshots out of Text or Haze.
Sam wasn't spotted here on this barrier, or might be able to pull off something tricky, but Baby Bay is just continuing to collect bodies all across the map right now. Ethan does find Flyer, but Dicey has not been found out yet. Big move from Haze to avoid getting killed, and now they have the read, but the paranoia comes through to allow Dicey to fall back in the Sanctuary and gets a frag on his way out the door. So does Baby Bay come in. Oh my goodness.
Op versus Marshall. Now Classic versus Vandal. Not going to work out all that well either way.
No, sir.
And it's just, you start to feel a little heartbroken for NRG in a way. These rounds where they've got no business really kind of stealing away anything, they're doing some pretty good stuff when it comes to being able to battle back early. And there's the look at what the first blood looked like, getting you off the table. It's just, oh man. You haven't been able to really do too much with your full buys if you're energy, and then in rounds where you almost scrap together thrifties, you miss out by 1 or 2 moments. That's tragedy for energy.
They just look a little bit flat compared to what I've seen in some of their other playoff matches. Like, they're not really quite hitting their rhythm. And this is their map pick where you kind of expect it. Granted, they do have a really strong defense, so they're not out of it yet if they can scrape together a little bit of something here on the attack, but they're running out of time trying to pave their way forward. Hunter's Fury, and EU will pick off Superman, so they finally get a first blood here.
For a second, I thought that was just going to be completely baited out. The play forward for FaZe was nothing but just a head fake, essentially, but Superman still gets caught. So now for the first time, significant numbers for NRG in the early stages of the round. Baby Bay trusted to hold from the low ground. Flya just above. How does he get that kill up top on the Tex? Just spamming a pre-fire. Shock darts can now come down. That is going to deal some damage, and the Owl Drone will be able to scout things out as FaZe once again set up for a retake.
Yeah, this is a lot of ults being spent by Energy, and they still might not come up with it. Viper spits down. Hunter's Fury's already gone. Spike's still yet to go down. Everyone from FaZe is here already, ready to retake, and we know how strong they have been on average throughout this stage in these various situations. Ethan will put the spike down. Recon comes out. It's enough to get spammed up a bit. Flya does a Goomba stomp down below. Able to get away, though, with a couple of kills. Even.
It's down to Ethan. Stuck on site. And Baby Bay's watching the cross. Oh my goodness. It's another heartbreak for NRG. You get the first blood. You've got the ults that you want. And even still, FaZe pull out these little heroics.
I know. Dude, I wonder how confused he must have been when he jumped down. It's like, that's not the...
Over the finish line. On the other front, with these full buy rounds, they haven't been able to get a setup going, really. Outside of that first blood we just saw, we have yet to see NRG really get their game plan in motion, it feels like.
Yeah, it's definitely been a tough run for them so far. Some aggression here coming this time for Baby Bay through Tube. Hayes seems to anticipate this as an option. He's been certainly keeping tabs on it. They're a lot more spread out this time. Some kind of soloing out Long B, creating some presence there. This is definitely kind of, again, more towards the style we've been seeing them play throughout the playoffs, a slower, more default style. The thing is, Baby Bay has a dangerous angle right now on this Tube press.
Yes.
And if he sticks with it, Aldron's going to push him off, actually. This is a great move to get him out of there. They still don't really have that much map control.
No, not, and for what it's worth, for FaZe Clan, you used a lot of utility to get Baby Bay to that position, but NRG had to spend just as much to get him out.
Well, Wall's
He's
down
not quite
now.
giving off on this.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Energy should be able to take site and kind of just force play phased retake because they are playing aggressive middle, which means they have quick rotations to screen, but A site, is definitely a vulnerable target right now. Energy's at least going to be able to find that, it seems.
This is by design, though.
Yes.
These have so many ultimates to play with to try to get a
true.
retake going. Plus, look at all the utility from Dicey making a mess of this front side of A. Spike planted in a different location, doesn't make a difference. Dicey still is able to capitalize on first blood. Null Command shortly should be coming through for Poise as they look for a retake. And there it is. Now it's on the hit. Paranoia was just sent out by Som, but it really didn't connect with anybody. And Baby Bay goes hunting. Operator in hand, looking to deny any post plant at range. Nice flash over the toxic screen. Makes it easy for Poise. Gets the double. Now the fragment up top not needed. It's just down to Haze. Nicely done to get 3 in a row. And hold on a second. It's a 1v1 with Supa on the top ropes. Supa from the top rope, literally. Gets the kill, wins the 1v1.
The RKO from the top turnbuckle, baby. Out of nowhere.
GB is going crazy off that reference, I guarantee you that.
Yeah, he is. It's the old Orton. I did that just for him, actually.
I knew you would.
I had to. The man's on the desk. I know the man's a wrestling fan. Wrestling, as we call it here in the South.
Redneck anime.
Yeah. And I guess since we weren't going to get a new Splinter Cell anytime soon, Superman decided, hey, I got you, buddy.
Dude. That is, again, it's another... Have his word until it gets tired. It's another heartbreak for NRG.
It is. It's soul crushing at this point.
Wow. Same setup to get FaZe into a position to use Baby Bay forward. Aldrone will allow him to take the angle. Last time out for NRG, it was an Aldrone in return to re-clear, but Baby Bay is taking a little bit more of an aggressive side to this angle. Does it work out? EU in the corner! Oh! EU is so lucky to be alive.
EU must have been just in time for 11-11 earlier this morning. And that's just been spent. That wish is gone. Haze gets an entry as well to add to it. Poise fighting back to at least reel it back into a 4 versus 4. And now he's got Baby Bay for support. But now Baby Bay's all alone.
Oh, and he misses a critical shot. Headhunter does work out, though. Hunter Sphere to create some more space. And now Baby Bay retaking the angle over towards green. Sees the exit, but a little limbo with the Hunter's Fury as NRG lucky to be alive. They'll get the resurrection, but in the same moment, they've lost Tex, and we stay at a 3v3.
Yeah, they know that those 3 are at Long B still as well. This allows Superman to press deep into A confidently, knowing that there really shouldn't be anyone he has to worry about. Now the barrier orb has to be broken. The energy had to drop just to get the res off. It slows down this progress onto Long B. Aldrone gets a bit of a read here, but Flya tees off.
It's another round where NRG and an Eco do exactly what you could possibly need to do to start setting up the conversations for a Thrifty, but it's only one checkbox of 3 that actually get ticked, and now all of a sudden you're on round 11 and FaZe is up 9-1.
Yeah, FaZe is just destroying things right now, man. Like, it has been wild to see. I mean, just outclassing NRG in almost every metric since Jump Street. It's pistol round for NRG, and that's it. That's all she wrote.
Jeez, bro.
And it's not like they haven't had some chances until these mid-rounds, but they just have not been able to close, and now they're starting to get a little bit bullied across the map early round.
Yeah. This is FaZe Clan pulling out the "we're just better than you" playbook. Getting aggressive through green, getting aggressive over towards A. And you could just feel the turmoil that has to be in the comms for NRG right now.
Meanwhile, the confidence is at an all-time high for FaZe. Everything is working. They've been punished for nothing. Even when Baby Bay missed a few shots, he's able to get away and still finish off with a couple to close out that final round. Now Viper's Pit deployed at Long B, going to make it a lot tougher on NRG with very little utility and minimal firepower to try to break through this, but again, they don't really have any idea what's going on the A side of the map after losing that pick to Baby Bay with Som falling. So they kind of feel like they're maybe forced to play through this, and that's just to keep stalling, keep buying time.
Wow, what a prediction from Supa. Just avoids the Aldrone and turns it into a double. What is happening? No way! It's a triple for Supa. Unbelievable.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
30 seconds left.
It's tough out here for NRG fans. Not a whole lot going their way. That is a Prime Gaming flawless, almost a flawless half, but certainly dominates the round as they have done many, up 10-1. And again, we just aren't seeing any of the strengths that
None of
NRG
it.
brought to the table throughout playoffs. Again, their first kill percentage drastically improved from groups to playoffs, from 47% to 60%. We're barely seeing them find openings right now. In fact, it's been the Baby Bay show on many of these early round skirmishes. You know, they're not able to get any of the full buys that have come their way, even though they had a drastic increase throughout playoffs. And honestly, you know, while Sam and Tex have stepped up massively between the guard game, their last match of groups, to now, they just haven't been able to find that spark so far on this one.
I think for a lot of people, just to kind of throw the other side of the conversation involved too, if you're a FaZe fan, you're sitting here saying, where was this team versus 100 Thieves? They won 2 defensive rounds and was part of what has been a lot of insane comebacks. EU, though, once again, this is looking pretty solid. First blood onto Supa. Baby Bay trying to jump on into the pit. Not going to work out.
That was optimistic.
It's bold, to say the least.
Indeed, Cotton. It was a strategy that was quite bold. As we are going to see a res, though, for Superman here from Dicey, so they still have a chance, perhaps, in this retake, though the Viper's Pit certainly making things difficult. Haven't really been able to find an opening.
Not a lot of utility to use to try to get involved with this either if you're FaZe, but you've got so much money, you might as well just give it a go.
Well, it's the last round,
for
so
3.
you would have
Well, that too. Yeah,
that's also a big part of it, I think.
Dude, it's
okay,
gone by so quickly.
It
doesn't feel like it's been round 12. And NRG will get 2.5.
A few days now, man. It's getting there. Copenhagen right around the corner.
Yeah, it's June 24th, so you'd figure
Yes.
it's a month away.
Okay.
NRG setting it straight down mid.
Is it this exact? Is it July 31st? I mean, I wasn't
25th.
Sure. 25th. Yeah. I don't know. What day is it? Do we
It's
know
okay. I
if
didn't know what
July
round
is?
it was at the end of the last half, so we're
True.
good.
Yeah. Well,
Here we go.
and it was not good. Hayes is getting crushed there.
Yeah.
Spike goes down.
And well, for FaZe, cover your exit. You've got Baby Bay on yellow. You just feel like he's about to hit a shot. And that could lead to more FaZe pistol stats that look very good for them. Retake on the way, though. NRG going to toggle for the spike. Shock Dart comes out. Baby Bay get a tag, but nothing more. And Ethan's going to be able to just stick this through the snake fight. That will work. Not the cleanest thing we've seen, but it's a round on the board.
It is. It is just surviving the snake bite. Pretty wild, honestly. I think FaZe figured that would be enough to deter the full stick. Obviously, the barrier orb comes into play. Really hard to break that with basic pistols. Certainly helped NRG out as well. And that is just a necessity to stay alive if you're NRG right there.
Yeah.
Still can't breathe a sigh of relief by any means. They need to combo it. Honestly, this is where you really need to win your bonus in round 3. Like, you cannot afford another scramble early half.
And I think also, if you're NRG, you have to be kind of cautious here to make sure that FaZe has not purchased into this round because they got 4 kills and a spike plant. They're not typically known to do that, but that's something you have to work out for. Well, they just won the pistols. They just had pistols.
Yeah, but they won with them. That's my point.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
You got to make sure you don't let that happen again.
Okay.
Yes, we got to the conclusion we needed.
Sam was looking for some early information. He got it. But FaZe are once again going to just back on out. Hayes throwing shoulders for the crossing intel, and FaZe has seen him. They're going prone, crouch, whatever they can to try to find this opening pick, but it's not going to work out, and FaZe are just going to linger in the offensive spawn, create more doubt.
Maybe Bay still hanging around over here at A side, though, trying to see if he can maybe just get a little bit of a pick here with the Headhunter and keep the fence interested over there. In the meantime, FaZe putting the rest of their numbers at Long B early, but now I've doubled back. Just trying to feint it a little bit, try to keep it interested. And I mean, heck, NRG has certainly bit onto that a little bit. They've had 3 players go deep into B, longer rotations now, a lot more stress on Sam
30 seconds
and
left.
Ethan to hold here. Good utility, though.
Exchange of Sage Walls comes out. You look kind of towards EU, who have now, he's used both of his shock darts trying to get FaZe members off the exit. Recon Bolt comes through. Dicey stays alive inside of the dirt cover. Ethan's able to track this out, but this is dangerous when it comes to trying to clear these players off quickly, or is it? Stinger headshots at range will do well. Ethan's able to at least force the fight right into the close quarters areas where the Stinger absolutely sings. And NRG, they will not just take the second round, they'll do it in flawless fashion.
Yeah, it was interesting there for a moment. I mean, FaZe gets a plant down in a 5-on-5. Dicey survives the shock darts, able to escape, and you're starting to think, maybe There's a way for FaZe to pull this one through, but NRG uses that superior firepower to their advantage. Gets the Prom Gaming flawless retake here. Maybe a little bit more stressful than they wanted it to be, but they got the frags clean. So no worries there. And this is a big bonus round for NRG now.
Huge.
It would be huge to convert this. Otherwise, FaZe is one away from map point.
Yeah, this would be unbelievable for the cause, as they say. I don't know who they are in that situation, but I know people say that, so.
Yeah, the cause is usually a thing worth fighting for.
Typically. I've seen posters that say so.
Yes.
Ethan, a little bit frisky to stay as long as he had, considering all of the information that was gained by FaZe. Costs him a healing orb and a significant portion of his armor. Gonna have to play very strategically around this toxic screen. Barrier orb's gonna be put down very quickly. It will reinforce as well. That'll slow down FaZe just a touch, but they'll chip away at it. Slow orb will take the barrier orb's position. Now snake bites to kind of counter as FaZe Clan continue to press forward.
Yeah, they're trying to make sure that no one can play up close and swing on a spike as it tries to make its way in, but at a bit of a standstill now. Look at this position that's being held by Tex, though. He's got so much info, and so NRG can just hold this defense strong, knowing there's really no double back for FaZe without it being detected very early. Spike trying to go down from Poise right now. Looks like he will get it off, and FaZe able to stay entrenched on yellow and long B, but here comes that flank, and we'll have to see. Problem is, Tex has a Marshall. It's not the greatest flanking weapon.
Exactly. Yeah, NRG missed a little bit of a timing there. If they could have gotten through that barrier orb before it reinforced, those SMGs could have done a lot of work. But how do you clear backside yellow with Stingers and Spectres? Apparently you just run forward. Pinstripe goes the kill feed. Continuing to get trades back and forth. Superman in the corner, but it's going to be a flash that finishes off the job. Now Tex. Going to get a rifle to play with. 1v1 with Supa. Backside of yellow. Tex is going very quickly. Going to toggle for the spike. This is the first prediction, but he gets the second. And how big is this for NRG? Now 10-5, and all the eco you can want coming into this next round.
ICEBOX is back on the menu for NRG all of a sudden with that one, and while the Marshall might have not been ideal, the Headhunter was perfect there from Tex, able to get a frag, pick up a Vandal, and then win the 1v1 against Superman. And that is a big, big move there from Tex to save the day. Frags are starting to favor FaZe here on the post plant for a moment, but Tex pulls it through, and as you said, economy not really there for FaZe. They'll lightly buy up some Sheriffs and Spectres, but making sure they get a full buy next round.
And this all of a sudden turns into a massive opportunity for NRG. Yes. Not just because you've gotten this within 5, but FaZe Clan is one of the worst teams in North America so far when it comes to playing at an eco disadvantage in rounds like this. Good first blood for EU, and he wants more. It's not just the kill. He says, I'll take the free real estate as well.
Yeah, maybe Bait is trying to dry peek himself into some success there, which is something that FaZe does like to do on the attack, is try to save the utility or post plant, try to use it sparingly, try to catch people off guard with timings, but EU read that one. He had the script. Som taking down Flya, so everything going swimmingly so far here early on for NRG over on the safe side of the map, as that's where the spike is headed. But again, they're kind of getting shut down here so far.
Ooh, bold peek from EU into the double of FaZe. That'll work out for 1 kill. 0 point will read that there are more members nearby. Slow orb to counter the traditional default spot. And FaZe are going to go high. Oh, the Texas read this. Doesn't like the look of it, backs out. Sees the head of one. If Som hits that shot, I lose my mind. But FaZe will get the plant off, and now it's just down to, can you get off of this and maybe possibly set up a little bit of a post plant? Super trying to play forward. Not going to quite work out. Tex for 2. And the last one will be finished off by Som. No worries there for NRG.
Yeah, they had this kind of fight on site. Superman didn't have any snake bites. And obviously Flya gone, didn't have any shock darts. So any way of disrupting diffuses and getting back wasn't really going to work. They had to just kind of stand their ground. Ultimately, NRG flexing that superior firepower and getting themselves around.
Feeling thing for me, but I feel like when we see FaZe Clan struggle on offense, it's for some of those reasons. And at least for now, if that does kind of hold true, it would be replicate of what we're seeing here so far through the first couple of rounds on their attack.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, definitely still a small sample size here as far as full buy rounds go to kind of see where things are headed in the second half. But at the very least, NRG has done the bare minimum to get themselves back into the contest. And Tex able to find an opening here again. NRG lacking first bloods in the first. That's when they improved upon between groups to playoffs. But now Tex is right back into full swing here defensively. Spots another as well, so has the info, slides over to yellow with a little bit of support to try to see if he can maybe grab a bit more.
Oh, this utility is so good to get Tex in a position, gets the rendezvous back down. Hunter's Fury to flush him out. Goodness. It's just as clean as you'd like. Setting up Tex for easy kills. If you're new to watching NRG, that's what you should come to expect. Where did Snake Bite go? Over the map.
It went to a different plant zone than where he thought that it might get planted. So not quite going to find the mark there. And FaZe starting to fight back a little bit now all of a sudden. 3 versus 3 post plant here.
Well done. So well done. Soup is able to earn up the Viper's Pit to reinforce this resurrection also to try to get this to 11, but Ethan is able to at least find one in response, and EU's timing around the back. If he can find a double, it's definitely doable. Now all of a sudden, it's a 2v1. Soup is still lurking inside of his pit. Catches the first, no problem. Also avoids the shock dart. EU off the reload, toggles the spike. But Supa not going to be baffled, at least not initially. Going to try to play out the clock. Even finds the kill. And it's 3 kills for Supa for the Red Bull clutch.
Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how hard that shot is. He's coming out the pit. He has no idea, really, if the spike is being stuck at that point in time, if the guy's behind yellow, waiting for him to step out on a bit of a fake. And then Supa just has to react so quickly here. Look at the snap from the perspective of EU. He had a chance there. A little bit of a blown opportunity on a couple of whiff bullets, and that allows Superman to seal it up. That puts FaZe to 11. Very crazy round considering the openings that Tex got. He figured NRG were on for another one there, but FaZe fight back.
I just feel like the wind has just exited the sails, so to speak, for NRG. But they do play aggressive forward over towards Zay. Look at Hayes, the ability to use the Viper's Pit, if so choosing to use it. Aldrone looking to scout out Ethan. That will connect. Slow Orb will contest to make sure there is no follow-up for an easy kill. And we'll kind of go neutral outside of the fact that NRG are showing a lot of aggression through mid.
Indeed, they are holding that forward angle. Ethan also trying to hold a little bit of an off angle over towards yellow side. So they're definitely trying to play pretty deep on all fronts and not really give FaZe a whole lot of space to launch from. But here comes that full-fledged attack through long. Ethan only good for one. Immediately trade there by Dicey. And as the spike is making its way into B, it will get planted here behind the barrier, or Poise is going to get res, so it's going to be a 5-on-4 post plant for FaZe. But, well, not anymore.
Still looking okay, though, for FaZe with the plant. They do get a couple of members deep, and with Poise coming back to life, he's got the ability to utilize not just the fragment, but also to re-peek over to Yellow to make sure that that is in control of the attackers. Tex waiting for a cross. No one's going to provide. Paranoia on the way out. Poise looking to get aggressive into this dark cover. Spams it through. No one home. Now it's on to the 1v1 with Sam. Wins that, no problem. Tex looking to get the trade. Finds the first. Off the reload. Goes to the Headhunter. How does he hit that shot? And now a 1v1 with Baby Bay. Headhunter out. What? Bang! Tex for 3. And enough time to get the 7 off the defuse.
What? Dude, no way he pulls that off. Like, look at how that was playing out. I love Poise not overdoing it on spamming the spike. He waits, he catches Sam pushing. It's looking like that should be it. But Tex with the Headhunter doesn't miss a bullet between Poise and Baby Bay there on that 1 versus 2. I mean, good lord, just 2 1-taps and has just enough time to defuse. This is starting to get interesting. It was a little bit of a landslide first half. Now we got ourselves a real slugfest.
Well, hazed off the Viper's Pit earned from the last round. We'll use that to defend green on the B side of the map. Watching over the middle, it's Tex who doesn't just get a collat. He uses the slow field to get a 3rd, and no one can touch Tex.
Enemy remaining.
Spike
down B.
Tex is feeling it right now, man. He is coming back, and that's a prime gaming flawless and NRG within 3 of tying this thing up, and that's what we've been waiting to see. NRG came to this game pretty flat, if we're honest, but throughout playoffs, Tex was number 2 in first bloods, number 2 in first bloods per round, number 4 in first blood success rate, and really finding himself in this chamber role after some tough opening matches in the groups. His ACS skyrocketed 48 points. And I mean, now we're starting to see that finally come into play here. when it's needed most to keep NRG in the hunt of their map pick. With elimination on the end of the series.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Tex. Do you have more in store for us? No. Uses the rendezvous before the 0 point can connect. Aldrone is going to follow up for FaZe. That will be denied as suppression starts to echo across the A site. Hunter's Fury now a part of the equation, and Sam just barely able to sneak out. But the problem is FaZe have moved forward with this. Gotten a first blood.
Oh!
Turn that into a second. Sam looking to get creative with his little teleport's not going to work out in FaZe on a 5v3 post plant.
Sam's had a couple of missteps with that shrouded step throughout this game. I feel like each time he's tried to make a play with it, it's been busted. And it's really kind of come back to haunt him in some of these key situations. It's a 5-on-4 in favor of FaZe here in the post plant. NRG need this retake to stop FaZe from getting that point.
Oh, and FaZe just in a lot of 1-for-1 spots are winning all of their individual gunfights. You've been able to fight back just a touch, but immediately traded upon being called on. And it just falls to EU, and they're just going to toy with them. Decent shot attempts, but not going to work out, and it's FaZe. After all the
up besides Tex or NRG has been EU. And look,
EU,
I often think EU might be one of the most underrated players for his role in North America. Like, such a good initiator, always a very good Sova, has been able to flex to other agents as well throughout NRG's run through playoffs and some of their group stage games as well. Definitely a solid player. Again, I think he gets overlooked quite a lot, but it's got to be someone else too. It can't just be EU and Tex. Someone else has to get it going here because FaZe is firing on all cylinders right now.
FaZe looking to get a little bit fast with a couple of members over towards B. Orb will be collected by Poise. That's the null command now earned. Tex looking for the cross, but misses the feet. It's a dangerous peek, but he does take the baby pay. EU looking to follow up with the Hunter's Fury, but blindly, it will not quite make it.
Yeah, he was trying to see if he could catch Tex before he got healed, because he did get tagged up quite a bit on the rendezvous, but he's able to get away, and Ethan will supply him the health back. Puts him back up to 90, so pretty healthy here. Saw him trying to play top screens and get a pick. Not able to do it. Does fall back. Shatters the barrier, but the plant still comes through here from Superman. He does have both Snake Bites and Flya still alive as well.
They do tap away at Supa very heavily. Gets him down just underneath half HP.
Yeah, so much post-plant utility, in fact. Fragment,
will come
shock
through.
darts, Snake Bites, everything.
Yep. Have to wait for the suppression, though. And FaZe are just going to give away some of this space. Oh, it's a huge pick from Sam. Takes down Poise, who was the heavy carrier of a lot of this post-plant utility. So now you got to get done with the weapons, and it's not going to work out. How about it for NRG? You want Poise to step up? He gets a critical 1v1 win to keep NRG in the map.
Wow, man. Don't even let any of that post-plant utility come into play from FaZe. Everyone got pummeled before they could ever launch it. Obviously, one of the biggest things was Poise going down there, not able to get the fragment, which would have stopped them from being able to press forward and would have kind of protected Flya and Superman to be able to get their utility off, and it just does not happen. Tex again finding the opening here. That's been kind of their bedrock of the comeback. And so that comes through, and now this retake was flawless, man.
Yeah.
Ripping and tearing like a Doom soundtrack into a 9th round.
Is that like Doom soundtrack from like the 90s?
Yeah, the little Mick Gordon.
Love that. Okay.
Remakes have all been good fire as well.
That's fair. Tex gets a chance at a shot as the opening recon bolt was denied, but not quite able to convert. And now Hazed wants to take a step with Tex, actually. Working over through yellow. Drone will be taken care of, but they do not know that Hazed is here. And it works out wonderfully! A double for Hazed! Tex still contesting the opposite side of yellow, but needs to call upon his friends for a little bit of assistance. Paranoia in the picture. And now NRG are here with numbers. And oh boy, we're looking down at 12-10 unless Supa's got more heroics in store for us, but this would be Reddit worthy at 15 HP. Not going to work out. Yeah, we've got a 2-round game here, Dust.
Indeed we do. NRG has started to fight back here. They are not going down without swinging first. But FaZe, again, they need just one more, and they've done a pretty good job about keeping their composure thus far this half. I mean, they went down early in this half with NRG, I think getting, what, like a 4-0 run to kick off the second half or something to that effect. Really closing the gap on the scoreboard or early, draining the big lead. But FaZe have been able to claw a couple of rounds here to at least keep them out in front, and they just need to connect one more, and they have a few big ults here to do it with in that Viper's Pit.
Patience this time for NRG. They get forward for the orb at A and then immediately just back off. And look at the heavy stack. Just stacking the box at mid. Tex 1v1 with Baby Bay.
Dude, Baby Bay cannot get away from this guy.
No.
I swear every place Baby Bay's tried to go and poke and prod, Tex has been waiting there with the sniper and has done him in. I mean, that has been such a key head-to-head this second half, and, I mean, it's been huge for Tex to be ahead in that duel as they're still trying to force what they have left here over towards Ace map. Again, they still have Viper Spit they can drop in a post plant to try to pull this one through, but Sam and company trying to disrupt their take onto site. A great flash comes through for Sam to build off of as well.
It's all gone wrong for FaZe Clan. Supa again, last one left alive, could do nothing with it in. I was about to say, depending on how the timing of this round, the team that gets the first blood. We'll see. Timeout ended. We'll jump on into this one while Dust tries to reconnect. You've got one Vandal. And then a bunch of Spectres if you're FaZe. They've done more with less, I'll say that much. And it looks like they don't even want to worry about kind of stretching the map. They're going to go quickly, but the thing about this is NRG have 4 positions over towards green. So they should have some pretty good awareness that this hit is on the way. But it will still be on Hazed to see what he wants to do for the opening defense. And he's going to give this plant up. Does a little bit of damage to the wall. Shock darts start to come through. Poise will take a pretty good chunk of damage off of that, but the Viper's Pit still gets planted. And now at the post plant for FaZe. Dicey watching the flank. Everyone else huddled up largely inside of the Viper's Pit. Hayes looking for a chance to get back in. Snake bites coming through with the recon bolts. Maybe they will clear and then immediately rendezvous out. Dicey on the flank. Huge 1v1 here. Attacks and wins it. That's the flank now made safe. NRG have to get this done from the front. They take care of Poise, but you've got to find more than that. The kill's still on the way. 4v4 we go. FaZe, a post plant setup in multiple forms. The barrier orb not quite able to break this in time. It's just down to 1. Sam and Hayes look to get it done. Hayes looking to stick on 1 HP, and it's not going to work out. FaZe Clan, this gut check call with SMGs to rush to A. They get the full flood. They get the Viper's Pit down, and they take map number 1. There's Dust. He looks so
That's
good.
the most FaZe way to end a match right there, bro. Just full Smeeg with SMGs into the site and let that baby ride. That baby being old Baby Bay himself, bro. They just get him in there. Oh my goodness, man. What a way to finish things off. What a wild game that was from how close it, got, considering how far apart we started. I mean, that is, man, that match delivered if you're a fan of Valorant for sure.
So I think we go back to what we said in the first half a lot about how this map's going to feel like for NRG, and we use the word heartbreak. The last round of the map, rather, you've got every advantage you possibly could want when it comes to weaponry. You even get good map positioning, but you feel like FaZe isn't going to hit you where you're least expecting it, and wouldn't you know it,